And I am proud to stand in solidarity against racism, against sexism, genderism, all of the isms. You see, I'm a part of an organization that's been around for over 100 years. And in the struggle to dismantle racism, those of us who've been in the fight, we understand that there's the highs and the lows. Those of us who've been inside of the fight understand that it's instances like Charlottesville, it's instances like the election of Trump, it's instances where we see the rich getting richer and the poor getting more poor, that we have the ability to stand strong. So I'm here to make sure that we stand in solidarity and that we continue to stand and fight against racism, even in the lows. Let them know that we ain't tired. So I'm here to make sure that you all don't get tired. As an NAACP who've been around for over 100 years, who've witnessed the tears and the blood and the sweat that goes into dismantling racism, I'm telling you all to bounce back. It'll be tough. It requires truth. It requires us to be fearless. It requires us to have uncomfortable conversations because, to be honest, if we're going to shift power, we have to have the uncomfortable conversations. But we know in this fight how to be uncomfortable, how to still stand, how to be fearless in the face of opposition. Seattle, King County, NAACP, I'm asking you all, in your solidarity, to bounce back. This is not the end. Bounce back. Stop racism.
Hey folks, how you doing?
The policies of this administration are bad for people and bad for the country. So I do everything I can in my life now, it seems like, to resist all of that.
Lock him up! Lock him up! If we do not speak out, if we do not act, they will prevail. So let's all resolve today, each one in your own way, in his or her own way, to be an advocate against hatred.
All of us together. That's what it's about, right?
Nazis? Really? I'm here to say no to Nazis?
No!
My fellow humans, hear me. I say no to Nazis every day. I say no to Nazis when I sing my kids to sleep. I say no to Nazis when I pray, when I dress, when I eat, and when I beat the punching bag at Cappy's, or when I used to before I had kids. Now I say no to them when I cry, when I read, and when I organize. When I hug and sing and yell and yawn and breathe. See, this has happened before, and my existence is resistance. But that's not enough anymore. We've entered a new phase. My existence alone is no longer enough. Will you exist with me? Will we decolonize our lives, our bodies and souls, our wandering eyes, our ability to watch harm being done and only at best take a picture or a video? Our ability to forget that European conquerors took this land by force from the Duwamish, the Iroquois, the Lakota, the Lenape, the Spokane. that those same exact Europeans had just spent centuries murdering, defaming, blaming, looting, dehumanizing, and damn right scaring many of my people. Jews as well as queers, the working poor. Will we decolonize our lives? It's a hard one. It doesn't get the initial yeah, right, that everyone else gets. Can we do that? I'm left with one question. Can we unite? Yes. Can we unite? Yes. Prove it. Make a new friend here today. Maybe even just on Facebook or Twitter. I'm here to say that Kadima stands in solidarity with immigrants, refugees, DACA folks, Northwest detention inmates. A Jewish community does not forget, and we will persist. We are a sanctuary site at Kadima. Help us protect. And proud we will defend. No one is illegal. No to anti-Semitism. No to Islamophobia. No to misogyny. No to trans and homophobia. No to erasing Native and Indigenous peoples. We must stand out and tall, not just at Westlake, right? At work, at home, on the phone with grandpa, on the phone with nephew, in the classroom. Thank you, teachers. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar me'od, v'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, said Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav. The whole world is a very narrow bridge. And the only thing we got to do, the most important thing, is not to be afraid. So are you not afraid with me today? If you are not afraid, take a physical step closer and let me hear you.
We call upon all people of goodwill to get up, to stand up, and to fight for the rights, for life, liberty, and justice for all people in this country. Many of our hearts are broken by the horrors of racist Nazi alt-right groups, pro-Klan white men saying they wish to take back our country. As we have seen, brothers and sisters have been beaten up, harassed, discriminated against, reviled, and killed for declaring our common bond as human beings. For the Muslim community, the Sikh community, the Jewish community, the undocumented, the refugee, the person of color, the Native American, the African American, the LGBTQ person, we all have a moral claim, an ever-flowing stake on the United States of America, because we are the people who have built up this country. We demand a place at the table because we built the tables. We demand a place in the halls of power because we built the halls of power. We join in this space today acknowledging the Duwamish land on which we honor and respect. We respect the Duwamish people. We call for their sovereignty as well to be respected. Let us join together, my friends, to attack hate with love, resistance, and persistence, because in the end, love wins. Love wins.
So over the past week, we have witnessed the horrifying violence of white supremacy. As we grapple with what's happening, let's remember that this is not a new struggle for people of color, for religious and ethnic minorities, or an isolated incident. This is just another reminder that racism is alive and well in our country. The president has shown he has no intention to be the representative of all Americans. Although I am angry at the president's cowardice, I am inspired by the people who continue to put their lives on the line, standing up for justice, like Heather Heyer, who was killed by a white supremacist in his car. Like DeAndre Harris, who was beaten with poles by neo-Nazis as he was peacefully protesting in Charlottesville. For too long, people who look like me have had the privilege to stay silent, and place the burden of dismantling racism on the backs of people of color and religious and ethnic minorities. Terrorism thrives on silence, and we see what happens when we're quiet. There are currently 917 active hate groups in our country and 21 operating in Washington state right now. We all have to find our voice. We all have to find our courage and stand up to the oppression and injustice around us every day. And this will mean changing the very culture of power and leadership right here in this city. There are lots of people in this city who can see clearly that government does not work for them. We need to change that. We need to listen to communities of color and religious and ethnic minorities. We need to share power. We need to center their needs as we make decisions as a city. Together, we have to decide who we are and how we will unify to confront the racism, bigotry, and elitism that pervade our systems, that are poisoning our nation, our history, and our culture.